Hello, and welcome back, Wild Hearts, to Alchemy with Sheeana Leigh, the podcast where we dive deep, strip it back, and celebrate the messy, magical dance of being fully alive. Here we explore the places where the sacred meets the savage, the tender meets the wild, and where your truest self can come out to play. So today, I am coming to you from the lovely Portugal. I skipped the podcast last week because I was in transit. I was in Doha and forgot that it was Wednesday and my time frames got all messed up. Look at me trying to rearrange everything. Uh, and yeah, I completely forgot and then wound up having this beautiful, luscious time in Portugal and thought, I'm going to give myself some spaciousness and some pause. And then we got a little bit of smoke inhalation and a bit sick. So I've just recovered from that. And here I am. Beautiful. Today I am looking at a view in Sintra with these beautiful, like colorful buildings. And I'm just sitting in a place of absolute like pleasure and lusciousness and aliveness. I wasn't really feeling the call to come to Portugal. I was feeling all sorts of ways. As you know, I've been going through quite a few shifts and transitions. But I'm here with some beautiful women, and it's been really healing and lovely. And yeah, definitely the medicine that I needed at this point in time. So today I wanted to get a little bit spiritual and woo-woo with you today. It's something that I am very passionate about, especially as a woman, and it is a direction and pathway that I kind of keep a little bit closed off and hidden into myself. And I'm studying it more deeply at the moment. And so this is going to be a big reflection on my work and what I'm offering in the world moving forward. So I'm going to get raw and real on the elements of land healing, grid work, ley line work, healing our body and connecting to the earth. So healing in relationship with the earth, healing our bodies, and healing the elemental body of the earth. And I'm really passionate about this because I feel like it is one of the deepest, most powerful ways to heal ourselves and to resource ourselves if we've experienced a lot of, well, in general, but if we have experienced a lot of PTSD, a lot of body trauma and violations, it is one of the most beautiful relationship experiences that is non-personal. So I find that a lot of people heal in relationship. This is absolutely true. But what happens when you have been completely violated and your boundaries crossed and you have deep relational and betrayal wounds and trauma? Healing in relationship and in relationship with another person and being, especially that of the opposite sex, if you have had traumas in relationship to the opposite sex, is deeply traumatic and takes a lot for your body to open up to. So I believe that one of my greatest elements and tools when I was learning to heal my body and myself was in actual relationship to the earth as a non quote unquote being, personal being, even though it is sentient and breathing and alive. I don't look at the earth as an actual, man, woman type presence being. It's larger than that. It's bigger than that. It's, something above that, which I think can be really delicious and nourishing. Okay, so now that I got really distracted there. There was like a kid screaming in this little courtyard out the front. I hope well, if you heard it, that's fine. But, I was really distracted by that for a moment. All the sounds and everything, it's quite lively here in Portugal, which is nice. So this is going to be a bit of a yeah, a side of me you don't really hear or speak of. It's going to be a little bit woo-woo, a little bit spiritual, but I think that there is a deep connection of being in the body, being a woman, and a connection to the earth. I think one of the things that we are lacking most in today's society and world is actually our connection and relationship to the earth. Now, this is something that I have always had and experienced. For those who don't know me very well or know me that intimately, I have always been somebody that sees things, energetic things, I would say. It has come and gone a lot in my life, but you know, I remember being very young and always being deeply connected to the earth and the elementals, and like I would be outside in my grandma's yard, like playing with fairies and fays and nymphs and all of these beautiful, like little beings and creatures. And, you know, throughout my life, I have been able to see energetics and pick up these energetics in the land my entire life. And, you know, I believe that land and the earth and the world is a large sentient being and consciousness and body. And so it is like a body, like our body. And the meridians, we have meridians, energetic meridians, and sort of these huge energetic portals and points, and the earth has them too. And if you actually study this, a lot of the ancient temples and sites and pyramids and stones are all in these crossing points of these large energetic ley lines. That's why they're so energetically palpable. And it's interesting because I feel like this is a lost art in today's society. So back in, you know, these eras and these days, they were so deeply connected to the energy and the pulsation of the land and the earth that they knew where these ley lines and song lines and grid lines would actually energetically cross. And so they would build these temples and sites and powerful spaces where, you know, they would go and they would have ritual and they would have respect and they would, you know, honor the sun and honor their harvest and really work with and in union with the land. And we have really forgotten that. But these ley lines are quite similar to, yeah, our blood, like, you know, our blood and our fascia and our network. It's like the micro and the macro. The earth has its energetic points and its veins and its organs and its lungs similar to us. And that's why I think it's so powerful when we work with the land, work on the land, and sort of give and receive back to the land. It can be this beautiful space of healing and knowing ourselves deeper and surrendering. And yeah, I am deepening my studies in this at the moment. I am being mentored in actual land healing work, so doing grid healing work, which I will be sharing a lot more. And I'm sitting with the thread of that with women, you know, because I believe that there is an energetic point with women, and I get a lot of my clients to do this in the work, to actually sit and anchor on the earth and really drop down and connect their cervix to the land and the earth. And we used to do this very, very freely back in the day when we would squat on the earth and bleed onto the earth and squat down to pick berries on the earth. And really our pelvis and our pussy and our cervix would be so deeply connected to the earth. And I get people to do this quite energetically in my work. I find it one of the key elementals because I believe that we are stripped bare of our deep connection to nature and the natural rhythm of the earth and the pulsing of the earth. And therefore we're disconnected deeper to those elementals within ourselves. So I had a lot of people, when I speak about this sort of work that I do, because mostly I have done this work free of charge. Like I just go and do this work on the land. Like it's something that I'm really passionate about. And before I even knew that that's what I was doing, I was going to sites because I believe that land calls us, you know, and it's made it really difficult because we've become so sedentary. Like we have this like nuclear family social system. We get a house, we anchor in on that house, and we kind of get trapped and stuck there. Whereas in the past, we would kind of be a little bit more wandering and moving around and going to lands and places that would call us. And for me, I always get a deep calling, like a deep knowing or a desire to go to places. And when I get a deep desire to go to places, I truly believe that it is the earth calling me to these places and spaces. And also my body remembering that there's places, and these places and spaces are deep knowledge points or energetic points for me to sit in and anchor with in and like transfer either my energy to the earth and the earth's energy to me and deeper wisdom. And this might sound all very woo-woo, but I can guarantee you that anytime I have listened to a calling of the earth and I've gone to this point and done what it has called me to do, it has been such a huge portal and such a huge moment of stripping bare and restructuring and potent beyond belief. And I can give you a couple. I've been to a lot of the energetic ley line crossing points in the world, doing a lot of sort of this grid work and ley line work. And yeah, it always looks super different. It always is a deep learning. I always see deep things. When I went out to Uluru, that was like, I just got told I had to go to Uluru at some point, and it was a really quick going. Like I left, I went there, I went to certain points, I had to stop at certain points, I had to commune, I had to talk, I had to protect, and I would see some pretty gnarly things. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And it's funny because when I just drove across from Australia in the most recent experience of the land, I went to this cave, and it was really interesting. I'll share this story because it's quite weird. I went to this Aboriginal site, this cave, and I always ask the land and, you know, the spirits and energy for permission before I move into these spaces, and ask for their permission and say that I'm going to move into honor and reverence. And yeah, I asked this cave site. I didn't really know, I didn't do research on it. Of course, I never really do that much research on anywhere before I go. So I asked for permission to move into this cave. I asked if I was allowed and had permission to move into it and be in there. And I got given a yes. So I went inside the cave, and I had this little eerie feeling in my stomach, though. I was a little bit unsure. So I asked quite a few times for permission, said I would move with like honor and reverence and all that stuff. And as I walked inside the cave, it was fine for a moment, but there was like this corner that I got quite inquisitive and curious on. And so I turned on my phone torch and started looking deeper into this cave. And I got a very strong, like, get out now, get out now. And it was really intense. And I felt like this sick feeling in my body and this like dropping feeling come all over me. And I kind of went like, okay, I ran outside, not ran, I walked very, very fast out of this cave. And I seen two tourists, young tourists walking in as I was leaving. And I was like, oh my God, like, you guys should not be going in there. Imagine all this energy that people are picking up, and they shouldn't be in there. And I walked out and I decided to stop and read because I could feel it. I could feel this insidious energy, like kind of clinging to me, kind of like it was sticky and like it wanted to come with me. And I was like, no, you have to stay in this cave. Like, you're not coming with me. You're staying there. And I'm quite, like I said, I'm quite energetically sensitive with some things. Not all the time. I make mistakes. I do fuck up. I do sometimes not listen to the energy or become ignorant. But a lot of times I'm very sensitive and can very much pick up things quickly. So as I was leaving, I stopped and I read the signs, and basically it was quite an insidious sight where this man had gotten into a love affair with somebody that he shouldn't have, and to punish him, they put him into the cave. They banished him into this cave, and then he would actually, even talking about it, it gives me that same feeling in my stomach and my body. He would capture children and eat children. Like, this was the story of this man in this cave. And honestly, it was the most sickly feeling I could feel. And like, it followed me. I had to do quite a bit of processing to like release it and let it go. I was driving away. Whoa. And I was telling this story the other day when we were out at the beach. We were at this beach cute bar for lunch. And the women I was with was like, what was your most mystical experience? And I was speaking of this experience of what happened, and they were quite blown away. So I thought I would share it here today. And it really got me very passionate about the land and healing the land, and how we move into a space of being in a natural hum, like a harmonious little dance with the earth. And it really is about like slowing down, listening to the feelings, because what you're feeling internally and elementally in your body is definitely the pulse that's happening in the earth as well. So I wanted to drop in that experience because obviously I brought this to my mentor in the land healing space and told her about this experience. And I believe that we get called to these spaces and places for a reason, for wisdom, for sharing, for healing ourselves, or that energetic point in the land. And it's really powerful. It's a really powerful of service type of gift. So I do this and I move through a space of like, I get nothing. Like, I wouldn't say I get nothing. Like, I get a beautiful sharing of energy. And sometimes I will go and get told to put an offering somewhere, or energetically put something, and it's just potent. It's a service of love. It's been something I've been doing for I can't even remember, like 20 years, and not actually knowing that this is what I was doing. I found this mentor that was starting to talk about the deeper elements of the land, about these different energetic points. And it's not just about like the crossing of the ley lines and the grid lines. And in our traditional culture here, Aboriginals talk about the song lines and singing into the song lines. And it's an art form and a knowing in their body and being that's been passed down for generations and generations. So it's something that is, as a custodian of the land that they have been taught and we have lost, but it's ancient in all tribes and areas. And I believe that, our stripping of this is really stripping of ourselves and our primal essence and our sensational being as women, especially as women. Like, I don't know, there's something so potent and powerful as being like a cyclical, bleeding, flesh and blood and bone woman, that when you really connect in with the flesh and the blood and the bones of the earth, that is just absolutely so satiating to your soul and to your essence and to your life force, that is unexplainable. But yes, I have been doing this for a really long time, not really knowing what I'm doing. just listening. And I have said this previously, that the earth, as being a, quite intense, abuse, like trauma, abuse survivor as a child, the earth was something that I moved through, like co-regulation, connecting with, moving me back into my body when I couldn't rely on anything or anyone else out of complete fear. And this is why this will be always be my number one, like, personal healing thing. And I've also said that, as somebody who has experienced like quite complex, intense trauma, I believe that when you numb out and disassociate from your body a fair bit, you become prone to the energetic spiritual realm a little bit more, right? Because you're not completely anchored in your body and being. It's kind of an escapism thing, but also it is a deeply, I believe it's a gift as well, because when then you come back down into your body and come back into your embodiment, you can bring that gifts and wisdom with you and anchor it back in, and you're still connected in a way that you may have not ever been if that didn't happen and you didn't sort of deepen into that escapism route. All that aside, when I started learning land healing, I had people ask, what is it that you do? And I believe that it's something deeper than just like house clearing or energetic clearing, because it's anchored into the body. When we look at the somatics of the body, talk therapy and what is like one level and layer, but the trauma and the pain and the energetic imprints are in the somatic body, in the blood, the bones, the vessel, the fascia, the lungs and organs. So when you think about it like that, think about the earth and how, the house and everything is the top layer. It is the conscious layer, the prefrontal cortex layer of it. And to get down and sink into the bones and the flesh is actually to move into the body of the earth. And when you can move into that realm and layer, you can clear things a lot deeper. And you start to understand that the body of earth actually holds trauma points too. So a lot of the things that I've been learning and working on and deepening into is not just these energetic points and sort of releasing and these sort of darker, insidious type points and ick levels and layers of trauma and grief, because there was some deep, deep trauma and grief out in outback Australia. Let me tell you, there was some pretty dark things, but also pumping up and igniting the more, positive per se, like lines and energetic points. So it's kind of bringing it into more harmony and balance. But there's a lot of subtleties that work on the land too that people do not really know, like the grief points of trees. So trees have like a network kind of similar, like they have a mother tree, and the mother tree is what like nourishes and gives life to all of the surrounding trees in its community. And a lot of the times we are so disconnected, we just rip that tree, the mother tree, out of this network and create these massive grief points for the whole community of trees and the land. And so that gets sunken in and held into the earth. Not only that, we have a lot of like earthquake lines that are quite intense. We have a lot of water lines that have impact on us energetically and the land and the houses. And so this can look like financial things, abundance things. And it's not just so much about clearing the house. This is why I love this work so much, because I truly believe that like using us as a vessel and a point, like sometimes I will go and like pleasure on the land and offer my blessings and my pleasure to the land. And it's powerful because, the land and the earth offers me pleasure every day, like in its beauty and its magnetism, and it gives me life. Like, what better way to create this like beautiful like inhalation, exhalation between me and the earth than it's giving me life. I'm giving it my life force and breathing with it. There's so much more. I could go on and on about this, but I am creating a elemental type thing with like the woman of the earth, like Earth and Eros. I believe that they are co-weaving in a way, especially with this work and learning so much more and deepening into my earth work. And I want to bring the two together. Like, I really want to bring the element of embodiment and women's embodiment and the way of the earth and, you know, its little nooks and crannies and energetic points and how to work with it. I feel like they so go together, and there's a missing link there for our sexuality, for our sensuality. And I'm so excited to bring it to you. And what has really ignited this for me currently is, obviously I'm in the beautiful Portugal and I'm on this land, and there is a reason why I'm here. And there is this wisdom and this undertone, and there's these places that are calling me to go and to sink into and to feel the energy, to share my energy with. And I believe if we all did that more, we would be a lot more in alignment with ourselves, with our essence, with our body, with our sensuality. So if that is the takeaway today, if you feel called to go to a place, like a deep heart yearning and calling and desire to go to a place, to go see something, to go feel or touch something somewhere in the lands and on earth, or somewhere local or far away, like, listen to that call, because I tell you, it has a message for you. It has wisdom for you, and you probably have wisdom and sharing and energy for it also. That is what I wanted to share with you today. That is something that I am super passionate about. As a, I don't even know what to say, like earthbound woman, as a earth priestess type style woman, like primal wild woman, you know. And I really hate is such a strong word, but I really despise how this is not a normal thing. Like, something that drives me crazy is we have like put this into this woo-woo spiritual category realm, but it is actually just so normal. And I said this, I talk to nature, I talk to the earth, I talk to the trees, I talk to the mountains, I talk to plants, and I just do it so casually and so openly. And I think that there has been such a weird, and we're seeing it like this, like weird spiritual, like, oh, love and light, I'm a spiritual goddess guru and I must sit down in this space, and it's all bullshit. It's like, I can just be a normal human woman, and you can be too. We all are, and have this like deep spiritual connection, and it doesn't have to look a certain way. Like, it does not have to be this like huge, like weird, like, yeah, talk to them, say hello. Hey, can I come in? Like, you can be you and be in connection to the greater being of the world. And that is what I really, really want to get across today. So if you are taking away anything from this experience, I would love for you to really sink into, how the earth has meridians, how the body of the earth has meridians, just like us. Because, it is important to know when we're moving into like land healing, earth grids, ley lines, water whispering. Oh my God, I talk about the water consciousness so much because it's so potent with our healing and the earth's healing. But the land is a gateway for a regulation. Like, it regulates our nervous systems. It holds deep memories. It responds to our voice and our touch, just like any physical body and vessel responds to touch and voice and pleasure and song and presence and devotion and attunement and awareness. This is the beautiful space of energetic reclamation moving into ritual on the earth, especially like grief, is such a beautiful way to clear not just our body, but the imprints that we walk on. And if we look at cultures and a lot of the tribes, they would gather and be on the land and howl and scream and release grief. And I was going to say I miss that, because there is a part of me that remembers this way of the world, but like, give me this. It's potent medicine. So moving into like myth and magic, that the caves, rivers, the red earth, the bones of the land is the great erotic body that we are in relationship with. And this is powerful. And I have found that this was like my first step and pathway into deeper relationship with something greater than, right? Because as somebody who's moved through trauma and stuff, moving through like not believing in God, like not having a deeper relationship to something greater than, the earth was the great pathway into learning how to love and open and receive and surrender and open my body up to and feel safe in, like anchoring down into the earth. Yum, yum, yum. Now, this might be very weird for a lot of you. And, you know, I love it. I love it when, you know, we're a little bit weird and we're a little unhinged and we're a little in devotion and we're moving into territory that is a little bit taboo or bizarre, and making it not so taboo and bizarre. So as we wrap this up, I would love to say that, yeah, the energetic body of the earth moves into rivers as bloodstreams, mountains as bones, caves as wombs, forests as lungs. So when we start doing rituals, dance, and prayers on these like sacred sites that were, you know, Machu Picchu, Uluru, Stonehenge, these intersections of the Earth's acupuncture points and the meridians, not just them, but in certain spaces and places that we're feeling, it's like giving the earth a acupressure or craniosacral or, you know, energetic pulse, which I think is so beautiful. And, you know, I really truly believe that the trees can really sense our total internal cellular hums. So their slow pulse, their deep time recalibrates our system. So they know every cell of our being, because our electromagnetic field actually syncs with theirs when we are in nature, when we are with trees. You know, we talk about this like forest walking bare feet on the earth. It's so powerful. And I wanted to just, again, talk about the vagus nerve mirroring rivers, fluid flowing regulating. Our lungs mirror the forest. So inhale, exhale, vice versa, literally breath exchange. Our skin is the Earth's like ozone layer, protective membrane. Our bones are the mountains, structures, support. Our blood vessels, rivers, pathways of nourishment and cleansing. Our nervous system is like the mycelium networks and the ley lines. And this is the electrical communication networks between us and the earth. Tell me if you are with me. But this is one way that we heal our nervous system, is by grounding, orientating, releasing with the earth through really the earth's seasonal regulations, seasonal sensations as well, through storms, season cycles, when the earth is destabilized through climate, stress, deforestation. Our systems actually feel it too. And I think that's really important to bring that in here, with the world literally on fire. I've said this a few times. The world is going crazy at the moment. And there's a lot of events that are happening, like cyclones in places, earthquakes in places they shouldn't be, fires in places they shouldn't be. So it's really important to understand that when we are in this state of flux and flow with the earth feels it, but also we feel it as well. We can talk about the Schumann resonance and how That is the same frequency that calms human brain waves in theta. Yeah, how just walking barefoot discharges inflammation. And yeah, the polyvagal theory, again, co-regulation through nature and being with nature is one of the biggest ways, because it's a bigger organism than just a human being. It's been self-regulating itself for billions of years. So when you're able to sit into that, oh, yum, yum, yum. So I hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into the woo-woo spiritual territory of the earth. And I hope this gives you a deeper understanding of her ley lines, like our meridians and network, our trauma, her scars, our healing, her restoration, and how this is in a beautiful dance of deep remembrance within our body and being of the world. And yeah, I hope this was lovely. I hope you really enjoyed this today. I really enjoyed sharing this part and side of myself and this like beautiful, like spiritual, deep, earthy aspect, because I feel like it's important. It's a big piece and part of who I am and what I do. And I believe that this is, yeah, going to be deeper work that we're going to see moving forward, especially with the earth the way it is now, and with women coming back into their pleasure embodiment and deeper anchoring. Like, I feel like this is going to be a huge movement and I'm here for it. So let me do my fancy, beautiful outro for you. As always, if you love this and you want to share, comment, I love hearing your DMs, insights, comments. It means the world to me because, as I always say, this is not just my work, it is our work, and your voice always matters. That is another ripple in the river of our remembrance. Thank you for journeying with me today on Alchemy with Sheeana Leigh. If you're feeling lit up, cracked open, or curious to dive even deeper, I invite you to stay connected with me. Join the conversation, share your reflections by leaving a review or sending me a message. Your voice really matters. Your energy really matters, and your presence is always valued. If you'd like to support this work and feel the magic, you can buy me a coffee or explore my free offering, the Pleasure Codes book, which is an invitation to unlock the sacred pleasure and power that lives within you. All the ways to stay connected and support this journey are in the show notes below. I can't wait to hear from you and see how this episode has landed and moved you. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks for your patience, as always, as I move through Alchemy with Sheeana Leigh, this real life human experience of remembrance between us all. See you next week. Love yous. Bye.